How to tell if your dream job has turned into a nightmare. I'm going to share with you the tips for you to figure this out. This is from the perspective not only of my work as a licensed clinical psychologist, as a coach with Black women, but also my own personal experiences in which my job initially started off very well and it became a true nightmare. So, I'm going to share with you 3 tips of ways to really assess for yourself if your dream job has turned into a nightmare. If you don't know me already, I'm Dr. Kamani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, a toxic job survivor, but more importantly, I'm a toxic job liberator for Black women. So, this is going to be a mix of some tips, and I'm going to share my own reflections in terms of how it related to me. So, when I first started my job, the toxic job that I resigned from, I really loved it. I love my job. I had a very positive experience. I felt that it was a gift, a blessing that I got the job because you may recognize that a lot of jobs you get, it's not because of you applying, like you finding the job and you applying all that kind of stuff. It's often based upon who you know. So the person that I knew was at the job, was working at the job as a clinical psychologist. And this person had previously supervised me with a assessment or testing when I was in graduate school. And so when a job opening came open as a clinical psychologist, because in my job, there weren't that many clinical psychologists at all. I think there were only like 2 positions within the whole school district. And I worked for the second largest school district in the nation. So this is very rare that an opportunity was going to be open. So this person who previously supervised me reached out to me and said, "Hey, this job opening is going to come open soon. I really think you should apply for it. I think you'd be great for it." And, at first I was like, I don't know, because I'm doing a lot of other things. And, is it part time or full time? Because I don't want a full time job because I have all these other part time things going on. And he's like, "No, it's a full time job. But I really think you should apply." And I kept saying, "Not okay." But he kept like, he was insistent, right? And so I applied, and it was kind of like a running joke between my mother and I for a long time because I actually only really applied because it felt like, oh my gosh, will he just stop asking me? Okay, I'll apply, I'll apply. So when I actually applied for the job, it was so much better than I thought it was going to be in terms of what I will be doing. And when I went in for my job interview, I had my interview with the 2 Black women supervisors who were supervising me at the time. And I knew, when you have that feeling in your spirit, like something is right. So I felt that way. I felt that this was the place for me. They were very warm and inviting and so supportive, even during the interview. And I was like, this is the place for me for now. And when I worked there for a long period of time, these 2 Black women were my supervisors. They were fantastic. It was even to the point where I would periodically just tell them, "I'm so blessed to have this position. I'm very happy with the work that I'm doing. I'm so happy to receive the support. And I feel really good in this position." So there was a lot of hard work, but I appreciated the work and I appreciated being valued. And I really felt like I was making a contribution. I was in a lot of leadership positions, all these different things, but I really like my job. And I used to tell people, you know, people may not want to work for someone else. And I really think that I am best working by myself, or on my own, excuse me, being my own boss. But if you had to work for someone, I would tell people this is a dream job. If you are not able to work for yourself, this is a dream job. It worked in terms of the pay at the time, the benefits, the schedule. So I was off during all major breaks and holidays. So because we were the school district, so it was working very well for me and my family because at that time my kids were young. So it was really like a dream job. However, over time, it started becoming a true nightmare. And this was after the Black women that I just told you about, my supervisors, after they retired. And I had some other supervisors who were cool, right? Not all my supervisors were bad after that. But it got really bad really fast. So I want to share these tips with you because I absolutely experienced this in terms of the dream going from, I look forward to the job. I appreciated the job. I was happy with what I was doing to literally hating the job. It went from that to that and not that long of a time. And you may have a similar experience, particularly when your manager or your supervisor leaves and you get a new supervisor, and it could just change everything. So I do want to say that when I was working with these two Black women supervisors, I was aware that the system was toxic. I was aware of that because I would see in terms of what happened to other Black women at the job, not in my particular section of the job where I was working with the two Black women, but I was able to see in other areas how the system was toxic. I was able to see the workplace bully in action. I was able to see things that she was doing to other Black women. I've actually interviewed one of the Black women that who was an administrator actually, and I'm going to put her interview in the description section. So I saw what happened to her in relation to the workplace bullying. I saw so many other things, but in so many ways, I was in some ways shielded from her because of these two Black women supervisors. However, again, when they left, all bets were off. Okay. So you may relate to that too. So when I talk about these different tips to you, again, these are based on my experiences. And I like to be able to periodically share with you about my own experiences in a toxic job because I don't want you to feel that I'm just talking at you or I'm just talking from the perspective of someone who works with Black women. I'm speaking from both perspectives. So someone who works with Black women as a therapist, as a coach, as a lot of things in terms of supporting Black women, but also my own personal experiences because I know firsthand what it's like. And this is what has motivated me to do this YouTube channel because this has been a way for me to process my own healing from a toxic job. And I'm still healing. Okay. I've left there over 2 years ago. The healing still continues. So I want to share these tips with you from going from dream that I look forward to being around people at the job. I look forward to doing the work to literally dreading it. Okay. So I'm sharing these 3 tips. One is you may start feeling exhausted all the time. So mentally, physically, you are wiped out even before you get to the job. So when I would go to a job, it was literally, I would have to talk myself out of my car. And it just felt like this weight was on me. So as soon as I drove into the parking lot, it was like this weight just kind of fell on me. And it just felt like I had to, get the weight off of me and just get some energy to even walk in. I was exhausted already before I even walked into the door. Okay. And if you have that experience, I know what it's like. It does not feel good at all. So I would kind of pep talk myself to get out the car. I would say things to myself like, oh, it's not that bad, or at least you have a job. Mm. And to say that now, to think that I would say that to myself, at least you have a job, it's not that bad. It was that bad, number one. Number one, I was lying to myself. Number two, I deserve so much better than that. I deserve so much better than that. The job did not make me into who I was. I already came in with all the credentials, everything I needed before I even got to that job. So it wasn't like I needed that job to make me who I was. Okay. So I was truly lying to myself. So that's the first tip. The first tip is you are emotionally, physically wiped out, exhausted before you even walk into the job. Okay. That's number one. Number one. Number two is you no longer feel respected or valued at your job. You may have felt that sense of people respected your work. They respected your opinions. They felt like you were a good team player, all those things. And then there was some kind of shift. So that happened with me. And I actually did a video about how I went from pet to threat. And I'll put that in the description section too. But for me, the experience was when I had the two Black women supervisors, I really had no complaints, honestly, really no complaints. And again, put in leadership positions, they supported me. They really looked at what type of professional growth that I want. And they really affirmed me. They respected me. They valued me. They shared that with me often, verbally, and just the way they treated me with such respect. And to the point I'm still friends with them now. But once they left, I experienced going from pet to threat. So it wasn't initially when I started the job. It wasn't that way. But after they left, I went from pet to threat. So if you're not familiar with pet to threat, and I always want to say the three Black women researchers who came up with the term and who've done the research because people steal their work. So I want to always say their names and to share about their work. So Pet to Threat was created by three Black women researchers, Dr. Juanita Johnson Bailey, Dr. Keisha Thomas, and Dr. Rosemary Phelps. Pet to Threat deals with when a Black woman comes into the workplace and she is sought out, right? So I was already in the workplace, but sought out for special assignments or special things, or maybe I did things on my own initiative. But you're sought out or you're seen for what you bring to the table. And people are pretending like you're just the best thing in the world. You are just a rock star. You are just fabulous. They can't live without you. You're just doing all these things. And oh my gosh, you're so smart. You're so valuable. All those things. And you start getting, just like I did, you start getting more attention from other people. And people who are insecure, deeply, deeply insecure people around you, they see this and they feel intimidated and threatened. And so then it shifts from that pet to now you are a threat. And when you are a threat, they will do so many things to try to get you out. They will make your life miserable at the job. They will make you start questioning yourself, your abilities, and you will go literally just like that. It will go from, oh, we appreciate, we respect you, we want you, we want to ghosting you or demoting you, like what happened to me, demoted me. All these different things happen, switch, okay? So that's another thing that can happen. So one is you are exhausted physically, mentally before you even get to the job. Two is you are no longer valued or respected at your job. You may have gone from pet to threat, just like I did, like I talked to you about, okay? The third tip is you literally, literally dread waking up each workday to go to that job. I think that's the biggest tip. That's the biggest sign. That's the biggest red flag that your dream job has gone from dream job to a true nightmare because every day and as I'm talking to you about it, I can remember it like it was yesterday. When that alarm would go off, I would just lay there. Oh, like I don't want to have to go. Please, I don't want to have to go back there. It was a dread every single workday. And I just got to the point where there were so many different things that just kept happening, happening, happening. It got to a point where I said, this is not the life that I want for myself. And I hope that you recognize that for yourself too. If you can relate to any of these tips I just told you, any of them. It don't have to be all three, any of them. This more than likely is not the life that you want for yourself. If that job went from dream to nightmare, the time could have been short, it could have been long, okay? But no matter what, it's still a nightmare. And when you think about your job, it takes up so much of your time. Not only the time getting there, the time when you're actually there, the time leaving, how you're processing it. Even on the weekends, you're thinking about it. Even on vacation, you're thinking about it. So then the job becomes all consuming. And if you are like I was, that you have said to yourself, this is not the life that I want for myself and I deserve better, there are options for you. And I want to share options with you. My YouTube channel is a one way to just share information with you, to hear about my experiences as a toxic job survivor, but also a toxic job liberator, but also the experiences of other Black women. So I want to share that with you on my YouTube channel. And I'm also asking you that you share this with other Black women. Share with them about my YouTube channel because so many Black women around the world are dealing with these toxic work environments because of issues of racism and sexism. So that's the one thing. The second thing is I want to share with you, in addition to YouTube, which is free, I also have offerings for you, such as the masterclass is coming up October 20th. So part one is how to get ready to leave a toxic job. So I want to share with you not only the hope that you can, but the actual skills, tools, resources that you need to start getting ready so that once you're ready to go, you can pivot and do well and find ways to replace your income. Okay. Because we all got bills to pay. So I'm not telling you just up and leave. Okay. I know we got bills to pay. So the how to get ready to leave that toxic job masterclass, it's available October 20th. Okay. It starts October 20th and it's in the evening. Okay. It's 2 hours. So you will receive so much information about how to pivot your career, what to do in terms of documentation, what to do, all the steps you need to take to get ready. Okay. So that information is available on the screen here. So it's going across the screen right here, and then it'll also be in my description section. Okay. And I also have a part two. So you can do one of the master classes or both. So that's October 20th is how to get ready. And then October 27th, the following week, is how do you heal? How do you start the healing process once you leave a toxic job? So again, it's October 27th. So you can do one of the master classes or both. Okay. You can choose which one you want to go to, or you can go to both. Okay. So it's up to you. And also want to reassure you that your privacy is valued. So Marissa Price and I are providing these master classes together. We also have guests coming in to share information with you. Again, Black women. But know that your privacy is valued. Your name will not be listed anywhere, so no one will know that you're in the master class except for Marissa and I. Okay, we're not going to share your information. And you will not be on camera because it's webinar format. Okay, so we value your privacy. Do not let that keep you from being a part of the master class. Okay, so again, part one is how to get ready to leave a toxic job. This is all for Black women, masterclass, October 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Information is going across your screen, also description section. And then part two, again, you could do either or both, is how to start healing after leaving a toxic job, okay? For Black women only. And I just want you to think about it. And I want you to start preparing what your next steps are. You may feel kind of stuck, not knowing what your next steps are. That's why we're here to support you, to share resources with you. But you have to take the step. You have to take the step and you have to click the link and you have to register and you need to attend. Okay. So I'm signing off. Please share this information with at least 2 other Black women. Share this video, share about the masterclasses. So you register and share with other Black women as well, with 2 other Black women at least. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Turn the notification bell so you know when I go live or upload another video. And remember, register for the masterclass. And you'll see me there, but I can't see you. Okay. Because again, it's webinar format. Okay. So I will see you later. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.